Bill Cosby returns to television with something new, own unique style.
You gonna be in there long?
Norton Furniture is here for you. Now, seriously, if you can't get credit in my store, you can't get credit anywhere. My name is Mark, and you can count on it.
540, join.
Join the fun. All have some.
Blow it up now, give it a whack. Turn up the fun with Balzac. Hit it.
Hello. I am sorry, but I must interrupt this show.
Later, you know what it is. Hey, ham solo. It's time, baby. Low. It's turn how we do. Hey.
They said we said we lit. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right.
Man, I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you in red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you Red Fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blitz. Cause you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today.
Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right.
Yo, what's happening? It's your boy Ham Solo hanging out with the boys this day. Seeing that Loke isn't here, there's no ladies. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Cozy's not with us quite right now. I'm not sure if she's joining or not. I haven't checked the Discord, or not Discord, but the chat. I'm sure she's
make it.
Well, she's not making it.
Yeah, she messaged on Twitter. She said she can't make it. She'll listen in.
Good to know. Thanks for the update, you too, because like I said, I didn't check that information before the show started. But anyways, we got Matt Likes Games with us today, and also Mental 9R. Shout out to them too. Loke is out of commission right now. He's doing some stuff with some family, so it's just us. Probably won't be the longest show that we've ever had by any means. But we're definitely going to touch up on some interesting topics, seeing that there is still stuff that happened. You know, life moves on and whatnot. As you guys see in the corner of the screen, there's some gameplay from that new game Mind's Eye that's going to be coming out here soon. So whether you've seen that or not, there's a little sneak peek if you haven't seen any of it at all, just so you can kind of see what you can come to expect. But let's go on ahead and move over to the guests, or not the guests, but the usual suspects is more or less what it is. But anyways, Mental, you weren't here, I believe, last week. So let's go to you, man. How you been? What's going on? What's happening, brother?
I've been good. Yeah, sorry about last week. My daughter had a dentist appointment unbeknownst to me, and it was supposed to be a quick 10-minute one, turned into an hour and a half, and I did not make it back at all for the show. So apologies for that, but it is what it is. Life gets in the way sometimes, and I've been playing some Doom Eternal. I'm just about halfway through. Really enjoying that game.
In the Dark Ages?
Sorry, yes, that's the one.
I say Eternal a lot also.
Yeah, Eternal on the mind. But yeah, no, it's awesome. I'll be surprised if it's not my game of the year. It's the best game I've played in quite some time. Very much enjoying that. And on the side, I've been revisiting Resident Evil 2 Remastered. So that's
Nice.
what I've been playing and what I've been up to. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Times.
So that's what you've been up to. I know you've been waiting on Doom, so you're probably pretty happy that you got that sucker in your hands right now because you were waiting quite a bit for that.
Yeah.
You talked about that the last few times that you were available to be on the show, so I'm sure you're feeling pretty good about that purchase. Matt,
Oh yeah.
now you're on a different part of Doom right now, if you want to call it a part at all. Right?
I beat it.
Exactly.
That's the part I'm on. is I've beat that game. It's incredible.
Kind of break it down to us. Tell us what you kind of thought going into it, and then what you thought after. Now have played it.
Going into it, like I was excited for it. It's a new Doom game. I'm gonna be excited for a new Doom game. I kind of expected it to be Doom, and that is what it is. It's Doom. It's very you can't mistake it for anything else. It's definitely Doom, and they nailed it. Like, so for me, one of the things, like I play Doom, I don't care about the story in Doom. I never have. It would take something ridiculous for me to care about the story in Doom. Especially the way they did it especially the way they did it in 2016 Eternal, where it's like all like you got to find logs and stuff. It's like in Codex. It's like if you care about doing that, then you can get a story. I don't want to do all that. I just want to kill the demons, and that's it. So with Doom: The Dark Ages, it was cool of them that they like put the story kind of front and center. I mean, gameplay is obviously front and center, but like story is right there with it. Which is a nice switch up for Doom. And I felt, obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything. I know Mental hasn't beat the game. I don't think you beat the game. I'm sure many people haven't beat the game. But there's like a point about 75% of the way through where, like, up to that point, the story was like, it's there, it's fine, it's serviceable for what it's trying to do. But there's a part, and it ties into the gameplay, but there's a part about that far into the game where this and it makes the gameplay that much cooler. It makes what's happening so much cooler. And I was talking before. What's that?
Sorry, is it just me or is Matt cutting out for you too, Ham?
He did cut out right there for a second. It was kind of in and out.
We good now, or is it still?
Yeah, it just seemed like you were kind of far from your mic because it was just like cutting short of like part of your sentence.
Okay. But yeah, like me and Mental were talking before the show, and I kind of told him it's in my top 5 games of this generation. It makes that list. Like games like Alan Wake 2, Starfield, Elden Ring, Cyberpunk, Doom: The Dark Ages is now on the list. And it's just in general, of the rebooted series, it's my favorite Doom. And it's just in general one of my favorite FPS games. From easily the last decade. So yeah, really great game. If you like Doom, you're gonna like this. I love that they switched it up. It's not as vertical as Doom Eternal, which I got used to and I learned to like it a lot. But like going back to like boots on the ground, very, very classic Doom. There's no double jump. It's just you're on the ground and you can jump if you want, but it's not much of a jump. It's really cool that they did that. The game feels amazing. The weapons, there's so many weapons because there's like I can't remember how many exactly, like 6 slots on the weapon wheel, but each slot has an interchangeable weapon with it. So it's like double that amount of weapons. So it's really cool. I love it.
Very nice. All right, so now you got to hear what Matt's thoughts was after beating the game. I'm kind of curious, Mental, if you've harbored any of that same sentiment since playing the game. Like, is it like a big deal of something different and fun and new? Is it more of the same? Is it uninspiring? Like tell me the truth of how you're feeling about this compared to like what you expected to what you got.
You can't handle the truth. No, it's I mean,
Oh man,
from
he's
my
about to go
perspective,
in. I was here for it, man. You about woke me up.
yeah, almost. But no, I mean, I echo a lot of what Matt said already. Doomslayer feels very different to play. Like the character feels heavy.
Yes, he does.
It doesn't feel light on his feet the way you're trucking around in 2016 and whatnot. I mean, the sprint mode's great. You can still get some decent speed. And the way they've implemented the shield is, I just, oh man, I love the shield.
Like even the sound effects and stuff like that. Mental, like everything sounds heavy.
Yeah, it does. It does. And there's, I mean, jumping off a high plateau area down into a crowd of demons and just seeing them, get wiped out from your impact and or like focusing on one with the shield and just exploding everything around you.
When you hit that shield perfect, it's like you took an aluminum bat to the bottom of a pole. It's like,
yeah. It's great fun. I mean, I did a quick video preview where I played through the first couple of chapters on my 3 kind of PC devices I have, and just for a performance comparison. And that's the thing that I think impresses me more than any other game I've played, is how incredibly flexible the game engine is to give you great performance.
Ooh, let's talk about that real quick, right? Because this is
range of hardware.
This is a ray traced forced game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I played it on from everything 4060 was on my laptop, and that was in basically 1080p. It was like 1200p, and played fantastic. I could go with just your standard DLSS quality mode and get a reasonable mid 60s to, I saw 80 a couple times while I was playing through. Something in that range, and it plays solid. Throw on frame gen if you want to do that. Fake frame it up to 100 frames per second.
Did you play it without the fake frames though?
Yeah.
What were you getting?
Yeah. On my laptop, anywhere, like I say, from about mid 60s up into I think the highest I saw was 85 for a blip.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
That was in ultra mode with
because that's forced ray tracing and whatnot. Yeah.
Ultra DLSS quality mode. And then my other rig I have is my 3090 Ti with 5700 X3D processor. And that one's
okay. Well, that's cooking.
Yeah, that's at 1440p that I played that. And I was up in the, if memory serves, right around the 100 FPS mark for the most part at ultra settings. Which we know isn't the highest settings, but at ultra, that's what it did. And that again was DLSS quality. And then on my 4090 at almost 4K resolution, it's a 1600p though, same width at 3840, but it's 3840 by 1600 because it's an ultra wide. With that, I was doing around 100 to 115 FPS with just DLSS quality on nightmare settings, and then turn on frame gen and I could get my 144 hertz basically, dips into the high 130s, that type of stuff. But no, it plays fantastic. And man, if I wanted to get higher frame rate on a 4060, I could start lowering the settings down, and I could probably get up to a consistent 80-ish without, just with DLSS quality, no frame gen.
Yeah. It's very well optimized. It's not
it's amazing.
That game on PC does not stutter.
No, it's
I've not seen it stutter.
Oh man.
No, shout out to Ashis in the chat. He says, "Sup, fellas," and hello to him and Ray Chief, Fuzzy Tomato, and those of the rest of you that happen to be hanging out with us watching. Be sure to hit that like button. Share this thing out if you got a chance to do that. We'd appreciate that a ton. Whether you're here on YouTube or on Twitter watching it. please definitely support us. We'd appreciate that a ton. But Ashes goes to say right after saying "Sup fellas" is that Doom Dark Ages is peak is his next comment after that. So I mean, I guess that kind of locks down how he feels about that, because I was kind of wondering how he felt about that. I haven't talked to him for a little while. So that answers that. And I guess I got a question based off of that, Mental, because I got to hear a lot of Matt's thoughts about all of this. And I guess this is just because we have time and we don't have as big of a panel today that I can ask you this is, what do you think about the sentiment going around it? And I want you to, like, let's try to be as professional as we can with this in particularly right now. I know we're not super professional on here all the time, but like, I just want to hear what your like kind of professional opinion is compared to like the previous ones, like as if, because I mean, I feel like you answered some of these questions already, but like, do you think like maybe the difficulty is like too easy on it, or do you not like the sliders that it's available and the accessibility behind it? Like, is any of, you know, the weirdo issues that happen to come around when any game comes out, is any of those an issue for you?
In a word, no. That doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm just playing on one of the standard settings. I don't even remember which one at the moment, but I don't have any issue at all with the fact it's seemingly infinitely customizable. In fact, I think that's probably something that when I'm done with the game, I'll go back and start playing with and see how much I can change up the gameplay just to make, you know, another playthrough something that could be fun. I mean, I know I'll play through it again eventually anyway. I'll probably play it on console or something like that. But I like the idea that they're giving some flexibility. It doesn't really bother me. I thought you were going to ask me about my thoughts of the discs being empty and basically just a code to let you play the game. But that's what I thought you were going to ask me about, because that's kind of the controversy I keep hearing about, is that when you buy the game on disc, there's just nothing on the disc. The whole game has to download, which I think, personally, I don't like that, but you know, it is what it is. But the only other thing I wanted to say about the game engine itself, why the hell isn't Halo just using ID Tech 8 instead of UE5? Like, in-house engine, it's absolutely amazing. And anyway, just no stutters. UE5 stutters like crazy all the time. I don't know.
Me and Matt were talking about that not that long ago, because like I guess we were talking about, we weren't talking about that in particular, but like, I think it was Loke or somebody asked us, like, if we had the option of having id make the game, or I think it was Treyarch make the game, which one would we choose? And and the reason that specific conversation brings me back to what you're saying right now is because like when I think of id, especially as of recently, I don't think of multiplayer at all, and that's what Halo kind of is.
Yeah.
So I wonder how they would be able to implement that engine to work hard and smart for multiplayer as well. id and Doom, usually their focus is single player.
So my favorite probably multiplayer of all time was an id Software game, Quake 2, and Quake 3. So I mean, are any of those guys left at ID Software?
Right.
Like the main leaders? Who knows, right? It's like, look at Bungie today. They're nothing like they were. And
man.
Look at their struggles, you know?
You just made this podcast depressing. Thanks.
Or Bungie.
Just hardcore on the struggle bus with those guys. But
struggle bus.
Yeah. They're flagging down extra passengers too, it seems. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I think they could do it. That's an interesting question, though, an interesting thought experiment. Maybe you have ID build the campaign, and you have Treyarch get involved with the multiplayer aspects. I mean, they're all one team in theory, so should be able to work across boundaries like that.
I mean, it'd definitely be interesting to see. I mean, those Quake games are old though now, and as you kind of leaned into, it's just like who would be down or who is there that's available to even work on that kind of stuff. That's an interesting thing as well. But like, it's also, I mean, to your point, there are a lot of help in the vicinity of Microsoft right now to where it's like, hey, it doesn't have to be them exactly working on the game as much as them just using that engine with people that are seasoned with creating a multiplayer game, and if they've used id Tech before, more power to them, essentially.
Yeah, like I'm just envisioning in my mind here being Master Chief and having that weighty feel of Doom Guy. Oh, that would be awesome. And just like shoulder charging into enemies and blowing them apart. Because I mean, I think the lore, Master Chief with his full armor on is supposed to weigh around 1,000 pounds, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like 1,000 pounds when you play those games, though. So adding that weighty feel to him, and instead of like a shield charge, just a shoulder charge, like maybe like at a Destiny with a Titan, right? Something like that, kind of blend that together and have a real weighty feeling Master Chief. If they were to do a reboot, that would be awesome. I'd be down for that.
Speaking of what you were talking about with the way that Doom ran, Asha says right here, game runs perfect through my old game runs perfect though on my old RTX 3060 Ti at nightmare above 60 FPS at 1080p.
Don't doubt that at all. Yeah, don't doubt that at all.
Ray Chi had a quick question that I almost skipped over. He says, quick question, does Claire Obscure devs still at Ubisoft?
Like, are there any Claire Obscure devs at Ubisoft?
I don't know that.
I wouldn't imagine so.
I'd imagine not if they were working on something else.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty tough to have a full-time job there and to be able to push out something as nice as Claire Obscure was. That's a hell of a second job.
Yeah. Your second job's better than your first job.
Your second job might get you Gotti. That's crazy. Fuzzy Tomato says, I doubt id Tech has the map editor functionality. UE5 adding a map editor is what made it viable for Halo, since Halo needs Forge.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
They had Snap
So
Map
I can't speak to current iterations of id Tech, but I can tell you back in the Quake 3 days, they had a tool called Radiant that was absolutely amazing. I built multiple maps for deathmatch stuff, like multiplayer
I was going to say,
maps.
Bethesda in general are known for having mods in any of their like games that they have on that they publish. So I mean, I feel what you're saying there, Mental, for sure.
Yeah, no, it wasn't something that anyone would pick up and build with. There was a learning curve to it, but you could make some pretty amazing things even back then. So I'm sure they would have like fantastic tools today. Whether or not they would make them public for a modding community to go in and start doing stuff, who knows? But yeah, back in the day anyway, I built quite a few maps with Radiant.
No doubt. What's cracking, G? Maybe. Thanks for sliding through. Let's go. But we already talked, or actually, I brought up Mental first. I'm not sure if we've asked you yet, Matt. What have you? Oh yeah, you just talked a little bit about doing the Dark Age. But what have you been playing other than that lately?
I'm glad you asked me that, because I just got a game today called Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon. I saw people talking about it. There's a guy I follow on YouTube who does like he'll like live stream the game, and as he's streaming, he'll like cut videos up and he'll do like early impressions, like a preview, early impressions, a review about halfway through the game, and then a final review. And obviously the game just came out. He's not done with the game, but he did his impressions of the game. and I was watching. I said, "Dude, this game looks so sick." So I got it on Xbox. It's like $45. And it's very Elder Scrolls inspired, but it's also quite a bit darker than Elder Scrolls. Like just the worlds that, like, I feel like Elder Scrolls is very fantastical, which is like it works for Elder Scrolls, but this is that but darker. Like a lot more blood, a lot more. I think Ham, you might like it in the sense that what's that game a couple years ago that was really uncomfortable looking? Came to Game Pass. Scorn. It was Scorn. And it doesn't look exactly like Scorn. It's like toned down quite a bit from that, but it's somewhere in between Scorn and Elder Scrolls in terms of its art style. And so far, like, I'm playing it right now while we're talking. It's just awesome. I love it. If you like RPGs and you like Elder Scrolls and you want something new, it's $45. You can get it on console or PC or whatever the hell. Does it have dragons? I don't know. It's not early access, Fuzzy Tomato. I don't know if it has dragons. It just released today.
What was it again, Matt? I'm sorry, I was busy.
You're cool. You're cool. It's called Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon. I got it.
No, I haven't heard of that.
Dude, I didn't hear about it either. I literally just saw it on this YouTube video today, and I was like, that looks fucking awesome. I went to look it up. It was only $45, so I got it. But yeah, I'm playing it right now, dude. So far, it's really, really cool. It's a really nice looking game too.
Interesting. Do you have any gameplay at all?
I haven't captured any gameplay yet. Although I do plan after this show, I'll probably put together a video for Series S on this, because I definitely want to see what that's like on Series S. Because I'm playing on Series X right now, and under the video options, they have a lot of options. Like, I can select the resolution, I can select performance or quality, VSync and all that stuff, dynamic resolution and how much, like, what the scale of that is, and then chromatic aberration, field of view, stuff like that. There's a lot of options under video for this game. And I got it at 1080p at performance, and it looks like it's playing great, and the game looks great. Yeah, there's a demo available for it as well. So if you want to give it a shot, and you're listening to this, you want to give it a shot, try out the demo. I didn't even try the demo. I just saw the video, and I said, yeah, I want to play that. And I just got it. Let's see. What's that? Were you about to say something?
No, I'm just reading the chat. Reggie says Scorn was grotesque. G Maybe says tainted fail. The fall of PlayStation. Got it.
Jeez. That's harsh.
Ray Chi says Tainted Grail Avalon. The people who made the game played Stay Night too much. And then Fuzzy Tomato says it's something I've been looking at. Might get it.
Check out the demo. Check out the demo.
I'm actually gonna throw on the demo here in a little bit, but like while I'm looking that up, shout out to Legendary Yobi. I see you in the chat. Peace, love, life. Shout out to you. You seen the gameplay here of Mind's Eye. What is your current thoughts on that game with everything that you've seen? I'm gonna cut in front of you real quick and just give you my thoughts, and then I want you, Matt, to go on, and then when Mental gets back, we'll call upon him. But my thoughts on this game so far is fairly underwhelming. Like, I still kind of want it because, like, I was looking forward to GTA, and GTA is now pushed back. And this looks like a game that's kind of trying to get in that kind of genre area, and it's kind of interesting to me because I do respect games that try to do that kind of stuff. I always like Saints Row back in the day was pretty cool. I really loved True Crime Streets of LA. What else? Sleeping Dogs was really good. Some of the Watchdog games were pretty good.
Yeah.
The last one was terrible. I hated it.
Watch Dogs 1 was the shit.
But this game, it looks interesting. It has some kind of generic, a little bit of generic moments, but I'm still kind of looking forward to this game. It's just like not like way up there in the terms of anticipation, I guess. What's your thoughts on it, Matt? I know I told you that I was thinking about buying the game, and I probably still am, but I just want to hear what your kind of thoughts on it. Let's say I wasn't around and this was just strictly up to you, whether you wanted to get it or not. Does this look good enough for you to want to pick up within the first week? Because I think it's only $50.
Not within the first week. I'd probably wait for a sale. Because, like, I look at that game, like, it seems like it wants to do, again, GTA is on a whole different level, but it seems like it's in a similar genre, obviously.
But it kind of looks like a cheap Quantum Break.
I get that. I totally get that. Dude, it feels, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what word I would use to describe it. It just feels like something's a little bit off with it. And I don't know. Like, it feels like when the game comes out, we're going to find out that something has gone terribly wrong. But also, maybe not. I don't, like, it just, it's weird that the game is, when does it come out? The 10th of next month? I think. And this is like the first, like, actual just minute to minute gameplay we've seen of this game. At least maybe
for the most part, yeah. I mean, there's other trailers and like one other one. There was one that came out that was, I think, more or less like, I think like Sneeko or some YouTuber or something like that dug up some information about the game and then posted it online, and some people got to see it, and it still looks interesting. It looked less interesting than this trailer, but I'm not sure how much of a like big deal it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this looks that part right there where they're flying off. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what you could all do there, but like, I don't know. Something is just constantly yelling at me saying generic. I
get that.
And I don't even know if it actually is. It could be something that's like, like this game could be an absolute sleeper where they're like kind of not showing us anything that you can do except the generic stuff. But then I'm thinking at the same time, like, why would they do that? Wouldn't they want to advertise some cool stuff that you could do?
Yeah. I saw, I don't know if it was this video. I don't think it was, because I don't believe I've seen what you're showing here. But I saw something in relation to Mind's Eye where somebody in the comments was like, this looks like a game that would be on a TV in the background of a TV show. And I get that. Now, again, the game can come out and it can be great. And, I hope it is, because I know there's a lot of people who are looking forward to this. Hell, I'm even kind of looking forward to it. I want to check it out. I just don't know if like if you weren't, I don't know that I would be there the first week. I'd probably have to see what people are saying and give it a week for like the hype or hate, whichever one it ends up being, for it to calm down a little bit so people talk rationally about it, and then base my decision on what comes with that conversation.
I guess I feel like Callisto Protocol kind of fucked up new games for me a little bit. To where I just like, I look at a game, and if it feels generic at all, which I looked at Callisto Protocol and I felt like that game, oh, it looked kind of generic, but I kind of want to see how the story turns out and whatnot. And then you come to find out the game's really short, and then most of the negativity surrounding that game for me per se came more or less after the game was made and after I already beat it. Just seeing that it felt like it was at a better value after they did all the stuff they did, and the price was much cheaper. And I feel like I kind of burned myself on just by being there day one. Like I got the least amount of worth for my dollar, like bang for buck.
Yeah.
Compared to most other people, right? That maybe waited a couple weeks when it went on a little bit of a sale once they noticed it wasn't selling big time, or when it went to Epic Game Store for free or $20. It was and it was like soon. It was only just a few months after launch that it went down to that. And it was a better game than when I played it. So like I just felt so slapped in the face for jumping out and getting Callisto Protocol right away. And I feel like
described 100% why I don't buy games at launch anymore. It has to be like an ID software that's never let me down in my life before I pre-order a game. Like I just don't do it anymore. I wait always.
So I mean that kind of stuff makes me nervous, and especially now with people raising prices with games without that certainty. Like they still can't give you a certainty that their game's gonna come out in a good condition. They're just charging you more.
Yeah.
There's no level of, if you buy this, then you get, the Bungie guarantee or the whatever the guarantee could be, right? That this game's going to be solid. Like, and that's part of the reason some of these games today are failing, right? Like Concord, and then just like Concord and in some of these other games, they didn't just fail because the game itself was bad. It's just like, I feel like a lot of customers just don't trust these motherfuckers right now, to be honest. Right? You're gonna ask me to spend $40 on something that, who knows, if it'll be around in a few weeks, Concord, a few months, Knockout City, or a couple years. That's what Knockout City essentially was, right? It was like a year and a half or two that game was out. And then, some of the price tags just don't make sense. So, I mean, we're looking at Marathon right now and being like $40 price tag. Everybody's looking at the game, not sure it has all the scrutiny behind it as well. And then like without the scrutiny even there, it's like, you're asking me to front you guys staying open, essentially. That's what it feels like.
There's nothing about that game that looks interesting to me. Like,
come on now, Mental.
It could be free to play, and I still wouldn't play it.
Come on now, Mental. Don't do that.
I'm serious. I'm just not interested in Marathon.
Come on. If it was like free, you wouldn't download it and give it a shot.
No. Remember you guys asked for input in the Twitter chat or the X chat, and one word to describe it, and it was exhausting. That's it. I'm not interested at all.
You said exhausting. You didn't even play it. You already yawning.
Yeah. No, it looks like one of those games that's just another endless grind for minimal reward or fun. And it looks so generic to me. If I wanted to play that game, I'd just play Destiny PvP. That's what I'd do.
Yeah. Okay. We're not gonna get into beating hell out of Marathon right now. We're talking about Mind's Eye right now, and I want to hear your thoughts on that, Mental, before I go over to Matt on that, because I thought you were gonna be gone for a little while, and I ended up wilding a little bit longer. But but Matt talked a little bit about his feelings on it. He said, if I wasn't getting it, he doesn't know if it'd be his like if he'd be there the first week, but it still intrigues him. I'm sure he has maybe a little bit more to say about it, but before he, absolutely stomps it out, Mental, what is your thoughts when you see this trailer that I've played now for like the 35th time? Like, do you think that it looks like something interesting that you'd want day one? Does it look like something interesting that you'd want to pick up during a sale, or does it just flat out not look interesting?
I mean, I'm going just purely off this trailer. I haven't seen or heard anything else about it. So just purely off this, to me, it just looks kind of basic. Like, it doesn't look like anything earth-shattering or new. There's nothing here that really makes me think I really need to play this game. So for me, it would definitely be a wait and see what happens with it. Wait and see what the reviews are like. Wait and see to find out what people I know are saying about it, if they've played it, stuff like that. Like, there's nothing here that makes me want to rush out and get it. In fact, this particular scene reminds me of something from Cyberpunk, which I loved Cyberpunk, but I don't know anything about this game to say, oh, hey, this is going to be like that. I don't know. It just looks basic. Doesn't look like
I see what you're talking about with the whole Cyberpunk thing. It kind of reminds you of the part where you're doing Pan Am's missions. You're out in the like the Nomad Desert area.
Yeah.
Totally see what you're talking about. It's like that. There's that gas station mission actually. Like
exactly,
right
exactly what I was gonna say. It looks just like the gas station mission to me. But
I just don't know about this game. I want to like it. It looks like it should have some of the things I really do enjoy. My issue with it is like I don't really understand the premise of this game other than like there's some sort of like, I guess, thief of like identity thief or something like that is what it seemed like, right? That there's some sort of like weird like I don't know exactly. It seemed like there was like some sort of like identity crisis or thief going around like stealing something or like framing you for something that you didn't do or something like that going on, which is kind of I don't want to say it's too generic because that hasn't happened a whole lot in recent games, but what I'm uncertain about is just like I see him moving, running, and shooting, and I don't see anything else. I don't see him throwing a grenade. I don't see anything special about the gun that he's using at all. I don't see anything on the screen that has special ready or something like that. I don't see anything about this that seems insane. And I just want to back up just a little bit. It looks a little goofy in some spots. If you check out the part right here where he runs around the car and he's getting shot from the side, I want to know, like, it looks like he's getting shot through the windows, but
yeah, I noticed that too.
I'm not sure if the window is broken because of the resolution and it's actually shooting through, or if it's just it looks like the window might have broke or whatnot, but it just looks kind of goofy, I guess. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just looks kind of goofy.
Yeah, and I mean, interesting plot, I guess. Topical for this day and age. Identity theft is a thing, but if he's going after the identity thief, what's with the whole gang of people here? I don't know, unless it's some organized crime syndicate or something. But
it could be. Aussie Fan 66 has my issue, and if it turns out to be true, is that it is a short experience, 15 hours. Same with Mafia. Looks like this is a start for adjustable prices. So. And we heard that with some of the leaks and stuff like that as of lately, you know, the whole Insomniac leak and stuff like that from PlayStation, where they said they want to kind of get into making shorter games. What's his name? Matt Booty came out talking about he wants, they want to focus on shorter experiences. that are more grandeur, I guess. So I guess that kind of makes sense. I see what you're saying there, Ozzy. But Ozzy then says right after that, definitely a Steam sale purchase. He doesn't want to get this at day one. What that translates to me is I want to see what everybody else thinks about it first. I don't want to be the test dummy.
Yeah.
And like the more I see on this game, the less I've been getting interested in it, which stinks to say.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a selling feature.
I don't know yet. Ray Cheese says we need a Monty Python video game. I don't know where that came from.
You know, there was one many years ago. It wasn't.
Was it on Sega?
No, this was on. Maybe I'm thinking of one on PC where there was a bunch of Monty Python clips and stuff, and there was some game aspects to it. But my wife used one of the sound bites from it for our answering machine back in the day. It was kind of funny.
That's fantastic. No wonder you're with her. She does shit like that.
Yeah.
Fuzzy Tomato says, I don't think it's gonna be great, but it still could be some fun. It's gonna have to be it's gonna have to have an amazing story for it to take off. Yeah, I agree. Because the gameplay that we've seen didn't look like wild. If that was their like sizzle reel, it's like you know what I mean? It's like I didn't see a whole lot sizzling other than the gas station was explosive, but the gas station was explosive, but I think everybody knows shoot, barrel, boom. That's in most, I mean, hell, that's in Doom. Doom, they got that. It's one of the most generic things in a video game. But anyways, continue on. G maybe says a game where they send you a deadly snake each month. I think Matt would love that.
What's that?
G maybe says Mind's Eye. So a game where they send you a deadly snake each month.
Yeah, fuck that. I don't like snakes.
Matt's terrified of snakes, even in video games.
Dude, I don't like snakes in anything. It could be in a show. It could be the only time I've been able to like look at a snake and be like, "That's interesting," or I'm not even that. I'm not terrified. Is when Steve Irwin was fucking with them. So when Steve Irwin was
that's hilarious.
Up, even though that's
somebody that died fucking with animals, you're okay.
Yeah,
with
someone that died fucking with. But even there was that one where he was on like a show and he was talking about the snake, and the snake just bites him on the neck. And the lady's like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "Yeah, it just bit me. Just bit me. It's what it does." I'm like, dude, that's kind of scary. I don't know.
It's messed up.
But yeah, snakes. I don't like snakes. Don't like snakes.
Fuzzy Tomato says, with Saints Row died or dying, there could be room for a cheaper GTA competitor. Yeah, there is. For sure. Saints Row jumped off a cliff. Like, ain't no coming back from what they did. Ron Slusher said, I love Callisto Protocol. And Big Mad Mo had a similar sentiment that actually goes a little bit deeper. He said, yeah, it was great to me, better than Dead Space. But then again, I played Callisto first. And Big Mad Mo, I disagree. But that's okay.
Yes.
I really liked Callisto Protocol. I really enjoyed it. But again, I didn't buy it at launch. I played it later for a greatly reduced price. And
I think that's why you enjoyed it much more than I did.
Because you got a much better version of the game. I'll say, like
graphically
Big Bad Mo,
looked gorgeous.
Oh, one of the best looking games of the
generation. Oh yeah, it looks phenomenal, right? Yeah, I ain't got nothing bad to say there.
Yeah, like I'll agree with Big Bad Mo. Like, agree. I played the game first. I played Callisto first, and then Dead Space came out, and then I played that. Callisto, I don't hate Callisto Protocol. I don't even dislike Callisto Protocol. I enjoyed it. I just
dislike it.
I just thought that I thought there was no way that Dead Space was going to be able to compete a remake with Callisto Protocol. And after playing both of those, I came away thinking, wow, Dead Space was clearly the better game. So clearly the better game.
I've played each of them 3 times.
Mhm.
And to me, they're the same but different. And I
Yes.
like them both roughly equal. I'll probably give the nod a little bit to Dead Space, but I really enjoyed Callisto Protocol too. Obviously, I played it 3 times: Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. And I've done the same with Dead Space. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do like the progression in the story of Callisto Protocol. They don't try to hold you in the same area and make you do a bunch of useless stuff to do what you need to do. They kind of get to the point. I just wish there was a little bit more like jump scare, a little bit more tearing apart the zombie things that you're fighting. Like I felt like what I seen in the trailer is what I did, but not much more.
Yeah. There were some really cool parts in Callisto. Like, I forget specifically.
I liked how you died in the game.
Oh, yeah. Some of the deaths
cool.
were brutal. But, like, there was a part where there was, like, a machine, like the spinning machine in the middle of a room.
Yeah, that grinder thing.
Yeah, and you could just toss enemies into it, and it would just shoot blood everywhere as it was spinning around. That was really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But, like,
I wanted more of that.
I want so much more of that. Because, like, if you have a moment like that, you can't just give me, like, here's that moment. You'll get maybe another moment like that in the game, and that's about it.
And just
like,
shoot people with the stasis thing.
Yeah, like, give me a whole game of that. Like, make the environment, I don't know, make the environment do stuff like that. Make it more interactive, like that specific part was. And then you got a fucking great game. A really great game.
Yeah, I also wish the game was a little bit looser. I thought it was super stiff in that game. But then again, they did loosen it up by the time Mental got to play it compared to when I played it.
You guys play the expansion?
No.
I'm going to guess you probably didn't. But
no, I did not.
I enjoyed the expansion. There was a weapon in the expansion that was like good times. Really good times.
So do you?
But
I mean, wonder what the price is on that expansion. If it's,
I think I paid $7.99 for it on PlayStation.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's not terrible then.
Yeah, that was not like on sale, obviously, but
yeah.
That is interesting. I just read something that Yobi said, and I'm actually going to it right now. I was wondering why this person looked familiar. Yobi says that's the main character from Mind's Eye is the same dude who plays as Lincoln Clay from Mafia 3. And I was wondering why this dude looks a little familiar.
Oh, so he's the main guy.
But that's Lincoln Clay. Yeah.
Huh. That's cool.
I mean, obviously done up with different hair and everything, but that's interesting.
It is.
Oh my goodness. And then Big Mad Mo has nothing positive to say right here. Oh yeah. PlayStation is dead. Jesus.
Damn.
Please. I don't even know where that came from.
I don't think they're dead.
They're doing all right. Doing pretty good.
Let's see. Oh Lord, Seawolf is here. That's probably why. There you go.
That's him welcoming Seawolf. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just gonna let them go at it because that's pretty. That's pretty normal. In these,
I've been following a little bit of that in the chat, and they're going back and forth pretty heavy.
Yeah, always, every time. Oh man. But anyways, so we got to check out Mind's Eye. There it is. I still want to get it. I'm definitely going to be using like my Xbox points and stuff like that. Try to save $20 off of it or something like that, pick it up for 30, you know. I mean that's the way I want to be able to cop that game. That sounds like the most interesting way to play it, especially seeing that I found out that Dune Awakening, the game that I'm most excited to come out for soon, is only coming out for Steam until like next year when they come out on console. So like that kind of, because that's what I was saving some of that money for that's what I was saving some of that Xbox money for, was to get Dune. But if it's only on Steam at first, then I'll just use that for Mind's Eye, I guess, which I'm not mad about. But yeah, so let's go on ahead and move on. There are some other things that we wanted to talk about. One of them being, here, let me get this thrown up on the screen here in just a second. All right. There we go. Oh, what the heck?
Yeah,
I didn't even realize I had the stream on in the background. That was weird. All right, sweet. So the next thing I wanted to bring up is here on the screen now. You can see it. It is talking about the report that that Bioshock announcement is set for this summer as 2K prepares franchise return.
Let's go.
So I mean, I recently beat the first two Bioshocks and then got burnt up at the beginning of Bioshock Infinite. That
had
was,
you depleted.
Yeah, I still need to go through and beat that game, but that game made me full stop for a minute and think about life. But now they're talking about, you know, possibly the franchise coming back. I'm assuming that it will probably be something like a remake, but let's dig into the article just real quick. This article by Ben Carey came out at 5:45 a.m. today. It said it's been a while since we've heard anything concrete on the next Bioshock game, but rumors have been swirling about this one for a while now. And a fresh report today claims that an announcement on the franchise is imminent. According to outlet MP First, publisher 2K is preparing an announcement related to the Bioshock franchise, and that announcement will occur fairly soon, most likely before the end of the summer. It's said that this announcement could be for a new game in the series or potentially something relating to the franchise Netflix project. So if you didn't know, they got a project going on with Netflix. Here's a little quote right here. It says, "At this point, we don't know what the announcement will be about. It could be the reveal of the initial details about one of the projects announced several years ago, such as Bioshock 4 or the upcoming Netflix movie. Some of the information we've come across also seems to suggest another possibility, a remake or a proper remaster of the original Bioshock." And I could totally see them actually making a remake of the original two Bioshocks or something like that to then kind of help Netflix come out with whatever that they're coming out with, almost like what they're doing with HBO in Last of Us game and TV show, right? Yeah. It really seems like that is kind of the style as of recently, is things are trying to get as close to hand in hand with show and game. Some shows come out before the game, some games come out before the show, but you've even seen some games starting to roll out with like Squid Games is having some games rolling out. What's that what's that? Game of Thrones is trying to make a comeback, and they got a game that came out. I'm not sure if they're working on any show or whatnot, but didn't they have like some dragon show not that long ago?
Yeah. House of Dragons?
Yeah, House of Dragons, right? Yeah, that came out a little while back. But I'm just kind of comparing some games that have shows along the side, or some shows that have games along the side. But going back to the article, because it's almost already up. It's a pretty short article. It says, speaking of that last time that touches on a potential Bioshock remake, the report also adds that the city of Rapture will play a significant role in the upcoming announcement, and the information gathered by the source contains clear references to the original Bioshock. A Bioshock collection releases for Xbox way back in 2016, containing a more rudimentary remaster of the original Bioshock. Although Bioshock 4 is mentioned in the above quote, there so far at least rumors have pointed towards a completely different setting for upcoming sequel. Rather than something set in Rapture, ultimately this is all just rumors for now, so we'll have to wait and see what 2K is planning. But it's been a good while since we've seen anything on this franchise, so here's hoping we have some fresh Bioshock news sooner rather than later. Okay, so let's go around and talk about this real quick. I want to get your thoughts first on this. I'm gonna go to you first, Matt, on this one. What are your thoughts on? I mean, I know you like Bioshock. I know you really enjoyed all the nasty hate that came with that last one that ran me out of town like somebody that didn't belong, because I kind of didn't belong. But anyways, what were your thoughts with this? With hearing this news? Have you heard about it already? Is this the first time that you've heard about it, or what?
Well, we kind of knew that they were working on Bioshock because it's been a rumor for a while. It's been a report for a while that they've been working on something Bioshock. The idea that's not coming, but like the idea that it's going to be shown this summer is new. I'm hyped for that. Like you said, I really enjoyed Bioshock. I'll tell you what they're not doing. They're probably not doing a follow up to Infinite. I would wager money they'll probably leave that alone.
Yeah,
because that was a touchy game back when it came out, let alone in 2025. That's pushing the limits.
Of all the games they didn't want you to record gameplay for, that one made the most sense for me.
Yeah, like, don't show anybody this. This is not good. But I'm hyped. I'm hyped for it. I mean, if it's a remake, I've played all three of them, so like, I don't need a remake. I don't need a remake, but if they come out with a remake, I'll get it for sure. Just to kind of see what I could maybe expect from the next one, because I would assume it's probably going to be very in line, gameplay wise, with what they do for a new entry in the series. But I'll say I'm hoping it's Bioshock 4 more than the remake, obviously. But I'm excited either way, and I hope it's true that we see more about this before the end of summer.
You made me want to ask another question, but before I ask that, I want to get your thoughts on all of this. Have you played the Bioshocks? Are you a fan of it? Are you looking forward to this? Do you want a remake or do you want a new one?
Bioshock was like one of my favorite games of the 360 generation.
It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. I have it on my shelf back there, still on disc. And I
loved cramming people with that fucking, just fucking, what is it? Just fucking jamming people up with that fucking, with that screwdriver thing, that fucking,
A drill.
drill that just jamming people up with that drill is great.
Yeah, good times. And yeah, I have played all three of them and thoroughly enjoyed all three. I think as much as I liked Infinite, I liked the setting of the first two a little bit more, like that under the water sort of setting. I thought was cool.
Yeah.
In Rapture,
It
but
is really pretty. All the leaky
yeah.
water and stuff like that.
Oh man, like, and the game absolutely blew my mind on 360 as well. Like it still holds up pretty well today. Like you
It
load that
does
game
on
up
360. It still
Yeah.
holds up.
Yeah, I played a good portion of it when I replayed the game. I played a good portion of it on 360 as well, just to get that OG feeling. And it's very surprising how well it holds up. The rest of it I played on my Steam Deck, and all those old games like that play amazingly well on Steam Deck. I had a great experience on there. But in terms of what I like to see them remade or a new one, I'd probably prefer a new one, to be honest, because if you play these games on PC especially, they're a
Facts.
good looking game. They're not lacking for anything major. Sure, yeah, you fancy it up with better textures and ray tracing and a few things like that. Yeah, it'll make it even more impressive, but I don't know. Like, I think I'd sooner have a brand new experience than a remake. If they make the remakes and they're true remakes in the sense like RE and RE like 2, 3, and 4, those games were really remade and modernized.
And
I
yeah,
would probably
they
pick
stripped
them
the
up.
tank controls from those too.
Yeah, I would probably pick them up, and but I'd wait. Like, I would expect they'll do it in a trilogy, or hope they would do it in a trilogy, unless it's some kind of reboot thing where they change the game significantly and they want to release them one at a time. But if they do a trilogy, I'd probably just wait till it's on a good sale price, pick it up, and yeah, I would replay them because I love the games. Bioshock's one of my favorite series of all time. So.
Menzel, I really want to reiterate something that you just about, like how they still hold up today. Me and Matt, when I was going through 1 and 2, I remember I was pretty decently far into 1, and 1 is very much like a horror setting. And Matt really enjoyed watching me play because I was extremely uncomfortable while I was playing that game. Not for the same reason that I was uncomfortable with 3, but but for different reasons. Just because Bioshock 1 was more like, and since I've got to play all 3 of them now, Bioshock is more of a horror than the other 2. The first one is. Yes. It's not really a horror, but the way they set up the level design and everything like that is a very much a horror kind of aesthetic, where you can hear the people kind of laughing, screaming, arguing, fighting each other. You hear Big Mama walking around, all heavy as shit, and the little girl talking to him or crying, and after you beat Big Mama, she'd be crying and stuff like that. And you'd have to choose whether you wanted to save her or possess her. It was a creepy experience. But going back to what I was talking about with like the aesthetic that they chose to make that game with just held up so good for when the game was initially made. And then on top of that, it's like the way they kind of made like the water kind of dripping, and the just like that like aesthetic of like kind of smokiness being in a cold area and stuff like that, when you're melting the ice with fire and stuff like that. Like, it all seemed to still hold up really well for the future. So going back to what you're kind of saying on whether they should make a remake of that or just move on to the next, I just think you should just current gen the ones that they already have, unlock the frame rate on them. I mean, technically, Bioshock 1 has an unlocked frame rate already. for it, and it definitely gets taken advantage of on the newer consoles.
Yeah.
But they could still, make it more consistent and work properly with newer hardware and stuff like that. But I don't think they need to go out of their way to make a massive remake and redo everything, because I just feel like what they already have is good, and it'd be nice to see them move forward. But that moves me to kind of the next question that I had that I didn't want to ask you too early, Mental. And I'm going to go to you on this one first, and then I want to hear Matt's thought on this. All right. So obviously this generation, more than any other generation, seemingly has been filled with remakes and remasters to kind of make up I'm not even talking about the game, but to kind of make up dead space or dead windows of like content where maybe they can't produce a whole game quick enough, so they will remaster something to kind of keep you busy in the meantime. Naughty Dog did a whole lot of that, right? So I got to ask you, Mental, are you at a point yet, or will you be at a point where you're like, these remakes and remasters are getting a little old? I want to see these franchises kick out something new instead of going backwards to then go forwards again.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of is where I'm coming from when I hold up the three originals, right? They're all
Look at that, all one
great.
generation. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, they're all great games, and they still look great even on the OG machine. And that's why, I kind of, I guess in a way I answered it when I said I'd sooner see a new game than another remake, reboot, remaster.
This is more industry wide of a question though, instead of just Bioshock.
Yeah, but I'm letting you know where I feel I'm at with the industry, right? It's I don't know, the whole thing. It's especially like on the Sony platform, right? How many remakes and remasters have we seen? And I think I'm feeling like I'm done with that. And you know what it feels like? It kind of feels like the movie industry has infected the video game industry, right? How many reboots, remakes, and everything do we see in the movies, right? It's just
it's like, oh, Full
ending.
House again.
Yeah, or
Fresh
they're
Prince
rebooting
again.
Rebooting Spider-Man again, and it's just I'm kind of done with it. I think as a industry, it feels like they've run out of ideas. And the new stuff that is coming just doesn't feel like it's that inspired. And the concept of being original, I don't know, it's got lost somewhere along the way. You find it in some indie games here and there. But, I'm a guy that doesn't play a lot of indie games. So I think sometimes I miss out on that stuff. But overall, yeah, I'm getting a little bit, I'm kind of over the whole remake remaster. And of course I just finished saying I'd probably
Double A game seemed to
have
have the whole new game thing figured out.
Yeah, and I just finished saying I'd probably rebuy them because I love the franchise so much that sure, seeing it all pretty with new graphics and everything, I'd probably end up rebuying it, but I'm not going to rush out and do it day one. So yeah, I don't know what else to say on that, but
yeah,
I'm kind of over it.
Fair enough. All right, Matt, before it's my turn, I'll ask you to go on ahead and tell me what you think about remakes and remasters. Are you getting fatigued with them at all? Because it sounds like you want a new Bioshock, but at the same time, it sounds like you wouldn't be completely turned off by them making any sort of remake at all. I want to know, are you getting a little tired of remakes and remasters, or are you perfectly content?
I'm totally fine with it. Here's the thing, because I'm gonna pick and choose what I get. Like, you know, Days Gone remastered. I'm not going to get that. Oblivion remastered. Yeah. I think Oblivion deserves a remaster after 20 years.
Yeah.
I think Bioshock, if you want to remake it after, I mean, it's not quite 20 years yet, but it's pretty close to 20 years. It's a lot closer to 20 than it is to 15 or than 10. But if you want to remake that, remake it. I'll buy it. I'm not going to complain about it. I'll absolutely get it. Like, I only really have a problem with remakes and remasters when it's something that isn't necessary. That's when I have a problem with it.
Bioshock's only 2 years away from 20.
Yeah.
So
So
not even, I'm even more impressed now with how good it looks on the 360.
Right.
When I realize it's almost 20 years old. Jeez.
Exactly. So I think my general rule is, and there are exceptions to that rule, but my general rule is you probably shouldn't be remaking or remastering something if it's less than 10 years old. It's probably not necessary. Like the newest game I would think needs a remake would be Dead Space 3. Because I want them to redo that whole thing. That's like the newest thing I think needs a remake. Anything newer than that, it's really not necessary. Unless the game was unless it's something I didn't play that was absolutely busted and the fans, well, whatever. But like for games I like, it's kind of stupid seeing remakes and remasters of things that aren't very old. I'll say that.
If it's less than 10 years old, there's pretty tough to justify in my mind, other than it being a cash grab.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
Ron Slusher says he hopes he gets an Astrobot remake this holiday.
You might.
I saw that. I thought that was pretty funny.
You might get that.
Evil Click AEC founder says, he says, what's up? Shout out to him, though. Celebrations of membership with the channel. Shout out to AEC founder Evil Click. He's changed his name so many times. But now I guess it is my turn, right?
Right.
So I guess I'll talk. It's my turn.
Give her.
I have said it before, and I guess I'll go back to like Dead Space real quick. When I beat Dead Space 1 before the remake to Dead Space 1 coming out, I feel like that's the time where I realized, and it wasn't even as knee deep as it is now, but I think that's the time where I realized that, hey, remakes, they're cool if the game is something I really enjoy and like have nostalgia for. I may pick it up, I may play it through a service, whatever, but like I don't need that. Like they came out with the Dead Space 1 remake like Matt, you remember, a few months after I beat Dead Space 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here to tell you, Dead Space 1 was fine. They didn't need to remake that, in my opinion. And then you see the sales on it, and it's like, sales kind of says that as well. And I see Tony Hawk Pro Skater coming out, and I'm not excited for it that much. Oblivion came out, and Matt's really excited. I wasn't like crazy going over the hill for it. I think there is some validity in remaking a game to stay with today's age so the game or the IP doesn't die. Right? I'm completely understanding of that. But as for me needing to run out and buy it after I've possibly or probably already played this game, like I can tell you right now, this whole Gears remaster thing, I already told that to Matt. I'm not jumping up and down about that at all. Like I kind of don't care. I'm like I'm happy to play through the campaign again because the campaign is good. But I didn't need it to be remade to play again. But I'll be playing it again because it's remade and it's going to be on a subscription service. It's going to be part of Game Pass. I'll fuck around and play it again. Sure. Me and Matt played every single Gears game together. We won't have a problem running through one all over again just to see what they added to it and everything like that. But if it wasn't for being in Game Pass, it would be a whole ass shoulder shrug for me. I don't really care. The one thing that I think is cool about Gears 1 coming back is that there is unlike The Last of Us, they're preserving the multiplayer.
Yeah.
And they're bringing that to more platforms, seeing that that's part of their strategy is to serve PlayStation, PC, and whoever the fuck else wants their games, right? So like, and it's even further going into Microsoft's, plan of more people, MAUs, come on over, right? Like, they're going to crush it with Gears. They're going to, right? Gears has been tough and nobody's been wanting to play it because you get in there with them Mexicans, they beat the shit out of you. And some of the other pro players as well. I mean, I ain't going to just single out Mexicans, but everybody knows everybody knows the Latinos don't fuck around in Gears. So they don't.
They love Gears.
It's no disrespect towards them. And if anything, that is props.
Oh, yeah.
Don't fuck around with anything south of the border in Texas when it comes to Gears. Because they don't fuck around down there. You hear somebody start speaking Spanish in your lobby, you might want to leave. If they ain't on your team.
It's funny.
Gonna have a bad time.
Or either that or you better learn Spanish. I don't know. But for me, I'm just not too thrilled with remakes. Because I feel like maybe I'd be more excited if I wasn't born during the time or something like that, right? And it came out and it was like, wow, I've never seen this before. This is what my dad played or mom played or whatever, cousins, nephew, brother, whatever. And I said nephew. I don't know why it'd be that. But anyways,
that's the one point I forgot to make that I had intended on making was the fact that remakes aren't really for us. It's for the people that have never played it before. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I forget about that. Like I get caught up in my own head as to why are they doing this? And it's really for the new audience, the younger generation, to get their first exposure to it as though it's a new release. That's the reality of it. So I guess in that respect, it's good. It kind of refreshes the franchise. But I don't know. Like I said, I'd sooner see a new game. Selfishly speaking.
Yeah, and it is selfishly speaking. I know that's what I'm essentially doing is like I want something I haven't seen before. I want them to continue a story, and they in them as a business see easy money on the table for like easy money on the table without much work that they have to do to make that money. And if you ask anybody that's a business person, less work, more money sounds great. Always. Yep. Or did I say that right? Less work, more money. Yeah.
Yes.
I was hoping I didn't say less money, more work. That's what I was not wanting to say.
That's how I feel. Seem to be getting less money for more work.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, we're already doing that, right? But but yeah, so that's pretty much the whole Bioshock thing. Interesting to see. We don't have too much, but we don't have too many details about it right now. But it's definitely something that a lot of us are looking forward to. Next thing that I kind of wanted to get into today, which I only kind of want to touch and go on this really. It's not one of the main topics. But I've seen this come up recently. And it says Nintendo Switch 2 game chat requires a phone number to use. This is kind of controversial right now. And it's controversial because people are citing that you have to use your phone number on other platforms to be able to use their services. But I'm not sure how much truth there is into that. And I'm not sure if it's using it in the same way that Nintendo is doing it. Because Nintendo is straight up doing it so you can use their chat. Right? I'm not sure if it's like supposedly some sort of like two-factor authentication or what it's all about and whatnot. But I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and click on the article and just look at it real quick and see if there's anything of substance really here. And we can kind of get into it. Yeah, it's not a super long one. Let me go on ahead and just read through this real quick. It says Nintendo Switch 2 game chat requires a phone number to use. If you plan on using game chat on Nintendo Switch 2, you'll need a phone number. That news has been spotted in the official terms for the feature. Nintendo doesn't go into detail about why a phone number is required for game chat on Switch 2, but the reason seems fairly clear. Company always takes the protection of its players seriously, especially younger ones. If someone uses game chat in a nefarious way, it's a bit easier for Nintendo to block them and prevent them from returning. Nintendo previously spoke about safety for minors with game chat. For one thing, minors can only chat with friends that their parents have approved. Additionally, even for adults, they won't randomly find themselves talking with a stranger. A report feature is also included. Game chat is among the big features. Nintendo has been promoting for Switch 2, which is nuts. That's a big feature for that. Anyways, full communication with others is possible aside from voice chat. This background is going to give me a fucking seizure. As much as it's just flashing all over the place. This is ridiculous. Aside from voice chat, if you own a camera, it's possible to show your face. You can also stream your game to others. Up to 12 people can be in a group and chat while playing games. Nintendo, okay, it's just telling you when it launches and whatnot. But all right, so we all, dude, fuck this page. I can't be here.
That page looks like everything wrong with the internet.
Oh my god, dude, that was terrible. That was an awful read. But anyways, so I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Obviously, we've used like email addresses and stuff like that to get access to like profiles, like, you know, your Xbox profile is attached to an email, and it can be like part of your phone number, but it's more or less for like two-factor authentication reasons, not really as a reason that you cannot use Xbox unless you have a phone number, because not everybody has a phone number. But what are your kind of thoughts on this? Does this happen through Discord for you, Mental? I'm gonna go to you first. What's your thought process around this whole phone number Nintendo Switch thing? Is it normal? Is it not? Thoughts?
Man, I'm immediately
Seawolf came right out with it. He said F Nintendo. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm of two minds. The one side of my brain is saying, you know, essentially F Nintendo. The other side of it is thinking about my son and his propensity to just have no sense of safety in his brain. So he'll just want to friend anyone and everyone and whatnot, right? So I have his Xbox account is quite locked down. He can't add any friends without me allowing it. And, Nintendo could take that path if it's about protecting the kids. The problem is, I think most parents wouldn't take the time to even remotely begin to look into how to protect their kids, because I've seen that firsthand with a lot of his parents that we know, and they don't have a clue on how to lock down anything and keep these environments a little safer. So I don't know. Like I say, I'm of two minds here. On one hand, it'll keep younger kids that probably shouldn't be using those features off of it. On the other hand, it feels like it's an intrusion on my own privacy if I want to use it. So I don't know. I mean,
That is, oh, Mental, why'd you say it like that? That was funny.
Yeah, sorry,
like,
I don't know.
I feel like I'm being protected if I use it, but I also feel like I'm being spied on if I use it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like everything these days, right? I feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm like, get the hell out of my house. Like, why is everybody in my house? And it's always, you're walking that tightrope. And, when I think of it in terms of my kids, it's probably not a bad thing. When I think of it in terms of myself, I'm like, get the hell out of my house, right? So that's where my brain's at. It's
leave my kids alone.
Yeah, potentially necessary evil. I mean, I don't know. My kids probably feel like I'm overprotective in some respects because I've got all their shit locked down. My daughter gets a little more leeway because she's demonstrated now, like she's getting older and she's got a good head on her shoulders. She makes good judgment calls. My son, opposite end of the spectrum. Like the kid it's like he doesn't have a brain yet. And there's no sense of danger or risk or anything with him. So he needs the tighter controls for sure.
That sounds like a happy young boy, right?
Yeah.
Because I have a happy young girl and she's very much the same, where she's like, if the person was willing to talk to me and be nice to me, they must be my friend. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. You have no idea how many people are smiling at you and telling you things for their own benefit, even at your own age, little girl. People are lying to you. Stop it.
My son is the type of kid that we can go to a park and there's a bunch of other kids he's never seen in his life playing basketball. Within 30 seconds, he's part of the game.
Yep. Those are my friends, right? That's the phrase when you tell them, hey, come over here real quick. I need to talk to you. Do you know any of them? Yeah, they're my friends. And it's like, no. Okay, so you're telling me you don't know any. What? Hey, tell me about 3 of their names over there. Oh, you don't know any of them. Great.
That's how he is. So.
Seawolf brings up a great point. He says GTA is a good example of like people, talking to each other that shouldn't be talking to each other. Same with Roblox. Roblox is a big time offender of that. Predator Paradise over there.
That's cool on Roblox.
Man, I whenever my daughter plays Roblox, she cannot wear a headset.
I don't blame you.
Yeah,
I don't blame you. It's bad.
I just don't trust that game. Like I barely like her even playing that game, but I know that she enjoys it enough and she knows what buttons not to hit and what is like a payment thing. I at least got to teach her some of that stuff, but I still won't let her use a headset with Roblox just because I don't know how proximity chat and stuff like that works in that game.
Yeah.
I just don't trust it. And plus, I think that game's garbage.
Stuff, but yeah. So I kind of get if that's their motivation, I guess what I'm saying is I kind of get why they're doing it. If that's the true motivation. Do I trust that that's their true motivation? Not really. I think they're just data mining for more information off of people, but
All right. Well, I guess it is my turn. Right? So
yeah.
Let's go on ahead and let me speak about it real quick. My thoughts on this is Bro, you just want to be able to detect who's paying for your shit. You don't want to give anybody else access to it. That's not supposed to be able to have access to it. It's just another way to be able to monitor your paywall. And then also be able to retrieve information from the people that do mess with you, that actually give you money, to be able to track what they do, compared to the people that don't give you money, that are just doing whatever the fuck on your platform. You can monitor them easily. You can see easier, like if somebody's messing with their Switch or doing something that they're not supposed to, you can see who's on that account, who's responsible for it. Like, it's just, to me, it's more of, they say it's for our safety, but it's for theirs. In my opinion, that's what I think. Like I don't think any of these companies give a shit about our safety at all.
Yeah.
They don't want to get sued, and they don't want anything to be free for you. And to me, that's what Nintendo's doing right now. They don't give a shit about your safety. They don't care about you communicating, but seeing that they know you want to do it, they're going to make you pay to do it. And it's silly. It's super silly, because a company of this magnitude could easily just say, we got Discord.
Yeah.
They could easily say that and bypass a lot of the extra BS that they put into this stuff. In fact, they could have this stuff still. They could still have the camera and have the C button and have Discord. They just choose not to, because they want to be in control of every facet of that Switch. They don't want anything to go through Nintendo without paying the toll.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thought process on it. They don't give a shit about you. They want you to make sure that you know that they're in charge. You want to talk to your friend? I hope you paid your phone bill.
All about the money.
To me, that's just wild, though, because you can get a PSN account, you can get an Xbox account, you can Steam, Discord. You don't need a phone number for any of those. All these people are telling me you need a phone number for those. No, you don't. They're like, you need a phone number to get into Call of Duty. I'm like, no, you don't.
Bro,
you need an email address. That's about it. You can make one of those on the fly.
This just feels like, because Nintendo already wants your email address. They've already been getting your email address. So it's like, this is just like the next evolution of like, hey, we got their email addresses. What else? What else can we get from them to mine for data? What else can we get from them? Obviously, it's your phone number. Well, we need your phone number now. Why do you need my phone number? Because just give us your phone number. That's why. And that's all this is. And like, the thing is, you know, a lot of people are gonna do it, and it's like, can I sit here and be like, shame on them for it? It's like, no. If you want to chat with your friends on Switch, you're gonna give them your phone number, because they have this stupid rule in place that they need your phone number. It's that simple. It's not necessary, but they're gonna do it.
G maybe brings up a point that I was kind of trying to drive home a little bit. He says, if Nintendo has the right to brick your console and possibly any future consoles assigned to your account info, it seems too
manipulative.
Yeah.
Okay, two. He meant to have two O's. That's why I got confused when reading that. It seems too manipulate. It is.
It is. It's dumb that they can do that. It's dumb that they can demand your phone number, and like, people online, like, we can complain about it. I saw someone in the chat say, I think it was G maybe, was saying Fratanga was complaining, was shitting on him for it. Like, I'm sure tons of people are ripping him for it, but at the end of the day, it's like, people are gonna do it. If they really want to chat on their Switch, they'll do it, and they'll probably get over it, and then people will probably move on. And now that's just like one more thing. Like, another company can look at this and say, hey, we have all their emails, let's get their phone numbers, like Nintendo. Like, it's just going to be another thing that unfortunately happens.
Yeah. To Fuzzy's point about my kids already knowing how to get around it, they don't, and they can't. My network is locked down, and I've got network blocks in place along with, secure passwords that my son can't even log into his console unless I let him. So, or his
Yeah,
PC.
yeah.
He doesn't have
Mental's
access to
like
anything.
when keeping it real goes wrong. When that one was like, I don't like people playing on my phone, and it was a federal agent that she was talking to, and I was like, I don't think you understand who you're talking to right now. Like,
Playing on my
that's
phone.
that's what Mental reminds me of right now. You're like, his spoiler, his kids already figured out. He's like, no, they're fucking around with a Fed in there. The kid ain't.
Yeah.
The kids are on lockdown for real.
Yeah, they're not getting around the stuff I have in place. So
That ball and chain is real. All right, so yeah. So that's pretty much the gist of what I wanted to talk about when it came to that subject right there. Just wanted to go over it real quick, see what you guys had for thoughts on it, if any. And I feel like we kind of summed that up pretty well. Another quick one I wanted to go over, if you guys have seen it or care about it at all, and this is going to be even quicker than the last one, is Steam Deck got an update recently that adds battery saver and some more stuff to it as of recently. Have you seen that, Matt?
I have. Wait, yeah, I did see that. I was gonna say I haven't, but I did see that. It's like charges to 80%, so it saves the battery over a long period of time. Good. I'm glad to see that. I mean, Steam Deck's battery for what it is already really great. I guess just like improving the duration of how long it lasts with this being implemented is always
Yeah,
a good thing.
it's called the new battery saver option is called battery charge limit, and it can be found under the power submenu in settings. This feature allows you to set maximum charge limit for their Steam Deck it would, just like Matt said, with a maximum of 80% charge recommended for devices that are usually left on charge or that rarely have their battery fully depleted.
That's one of the things. I'm happy that Steam Deck is getting that, because that's one of the things I like about my ROG Ally. When I first got it, I set it so it only charges to 80%. And it was like, it asked me if I wanted to do that. I wasn't even thinking about it. It asked me, hey, do you want to set this up so it improves the life of your battery? And I was like, absolutely. So it's good to see that Steam Deck's getting it.
yeah, that's cool because I rarely kill my battery. Like,
yeah,
I seldom, run it below 30%. So I hadn't seen this information, but I'll definitely be setting that.
I'm happy to help you out with some news, buddy.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. That's a good one. And I mean, the Steam Deck battery life is pretty darn good anyway.
Dude, it's amazing, actually.
It is.
People mistake it for playing heavy ass games that it doesn't last very long, but that's because you're playing a heavy ass game.
That's anything.
That's literally anything. Even on the Switch, the more intensive the game is, the less the battery life, right? But like as of recently, I've been playing a lot of emulation, right? So I've been playing like Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2, Midnight Club, NCAA football, 2006, the old one, the original PlayStation 1 Extreme. I played some of that. If you remember those old school games from 989 Sports back when Sony had that going on. I downloaded Evil Zone. Haven't played it yet, but I have downloaded it. And shout out to Matt for telling me about that game. Shout out to Barry as well. Welcome, welcome to the stream. I'm not sure if I've seen the name before, but he threw a $2 super chat. Yeah.
Shout out to that name.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. But he says, enjoy the show. Keep it up. Appreciate that $2 super chat from you. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you have not yet. If you're not new here, just hit the like button. I appreciate you. But yeah, Yeah, I've been playing those I've been playing emulating the games, and man, that battery just like I'll be playing for like 3-4 hours and the battery's still kicking. It's like you got 15-20% left after like 4 hours of playing, and when I plug it in, that shit charges up pretty quick. The charger that comes with it's gets it done pretty quick.
No, it's great. I love playing last gen console games on my Steam Deck because they all perform way better than they did on the last gen consoles. Dude. You can get 60 FPS out of just about every single one of them, and at the worst maybe 40 on some with high to max settings. It's the thing that impresses me daily. Whenever I use it, I'm always surprised by how well it plays games.
No doubt. It's a great system, and it really makes me excited for the future of handhelds.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, obviously it seems like, handhelds has been around forever. I mean, I was an owner of a Nomad, there was the Lynx way back in the day. There's been Game Boys forever. The Game Gear was around. That was like the lesser version of the Nomad. Handhelds have been around for a long time, but it seemed like once the Switch and even PC handhelds have been out for quite some time now. But it seemed like once the Switch kind of woke up that, way of playing a game to the casual audience more than the PC ones ever could, because those things are so expensive in comparison. A lot of these other companies have been trying to figure out a way to also add some sort of service similar, if not like, just a bit more pricey, but, clearly stronger than a Switch and whatnot. Steam Deck has hit it on the head. I think the ROG Ally, what Asus is doing is phenomenal. Shout out to Lenovo as well for putting out the Legion Go. That thing looks amazing. The sticks come off just like a Switch, and you can play it just like, if you want to play a playing game, you could use like a joystick version that they kind of have for it. Like, it's really brought out a lot of innovation within the industry, and also brought prices down for other manufacturers that are trying to make that a norm for their platform. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for what comes into the future. One thing that I thought that was kind of interesting, and I want to bring this up to you guys as I transition to the next topic, which will be one of, if not the last topic, is I was watching a video talking about how Nintendo is the most stagnant that they've been in a long time. And with this current Switch reveal, although it is still popular and a lot of people are interested in it, it seems like the least amount of innovation that Nintendo has done in some time. I mean, obviously they've made a more powerful system, which we can't like argue that very much. Like, you got, some 4K on it. You finally got higher frame rates and stuff like that. You finally got a fucking chat feature in it. But like, as for like them being like it seemed like with the last several consoles they had, they made a point to make it completely different than their last one. Bowser actually had a famous, speech when they came out talking about like the Wii, where they want to stay as far away from like mediocrity as possible. Essentially, they like they don't want to be the ones that had a marginal upgrade that you can kind of you can tell kind of here and there, but you don't really understand the generational leap. Especially after the Wii U came out, they didn't want to step in shit again, right? So I gotta kind of ask you guys: do you guys think the Switch is gonna start to kind of be hurting at all, seeing that all these other companies you're seeing it even with the major platforms. Sony's talking about, bringing a handheld back again. Xbox is clearly working on a partnered handheld, and then they might even do their own handheld in the future, which I'm not going to cross my fingers on that one. But but what I'm gonna go to you first, Mental. What are your thoughts on Nintendo? Do you think that they are going to be just fine, or do you think that they didn't innovate quite enough to kind of kick away the competitors that kind of have things that are clearly not Nintendo made, so they don't get Mario Kart and all this other stuff, but it's still a handheld, right? Still in that genre type of gaming.
I think Nintendo will be fine because they have a fan base like no other. They have a fan base that's willing to pay almost full price for games years later, rebuy games on platform after platform after platform. Like I say, I know guys that have purchased not one but multiple Steam or Switch 2s, and they're going to be lining up to try and get another one. And this isn't to resell them. This is because they want more than one. So I don't know. I think they've got a different kind of fan base than maybe what Xbox and PlayStation has. They're very dedicated, and I think they're going to be just fine. I do think that this price point will probably hurt them a little bit on sales. One of the things that the Switch had going for it is its relatively lower price of entry compared to the consoles that Sony and Microsoft produce. And if the Sony handheld and the Microsoft handheld comes out and they're all around that $700-800 price point that some people are expecting, it's going to be a tougher sell, I think, than a switch to the Switch community. So I don't know. We'll see, but I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be fine. I think the uptake might just be a bit slower, and you may have people waiting to see the Switch go on sale a little bit to make that initial purchase point feel a little more palatable.
Okay. Matt, thoughts? Nintendo, will they be fine? Will they start to digress? What are your thoughts?
They'll be fine. Nintendo will be fine for the exact reasons that Mental just said. They have a fan base that's like they have a huge portion of their, like a massive portion of their fan base that could not give a shit about a Steam Deck or an ROG Ally or whatever.
Yeah,
they really don't care about that, and that's a massive portion of their fan base. So like, they'll always have that portion of fan base. Whether the next thing from Nintendo was a handheld or not, they could go back to a traditional console. That like they will always be for that, whatever it is, handheld or not. So like, it doesn't, it's cool as someone who's not interested really in Nintendo. It's cool that we have all these other things like a Steam Deck, like an ROG Ally, like a Lenovo, and all the other different manufacturers who make these things. That's awesome. I prefer those, but Nintendo's going to be fine because they got the fans.
Yeah, they got the fans that keep them cool.
Yeah.
But anyways,
yeah.
But I guess my turn. Yeah, I think Nintendo will be fine. I don't think they'll outsell the Switch. I don't think they'll outsell the first Switch, but I think they'll do well enough, and I think that's part of their price increase is a little bit of an expectation of them not selling quite as much as the previous generation, so they're kind of using some of that money to help kind of like mitigate that a little bit, especially while it's new and they can kind of get away with that, because as things get older, then they decrease in price and stuff like that. Their games not so much, but at least their hardware will. And I feel like maybe the games being at a higher price will kind of alleviate some of that sale that they put on the console sometime in the future. And then I think they're also going to come out with different versions of that same console, like an OLED version or something like that.
Oh, of course.
Maybe one with a better with a better housing unit for the, like a dock with a better dock or something like that, right? Because like the current dock doesn't have VRR, which was kind of interesting because I believe the Switch itself has VRR, just not when docked, which I thought was kind of a weird thing, and a little ass backwards, seeing that it's worse when you make the screen bigger, not when you make the screen smaller. so I felt like that was a little weird. But anyways, let's go on ahead and move on to pretty much the last topic, because the thing that we're going to talk about after that is more or less exiting thoughts. But the last main topic that we have here today is Warhammer 40K Space Marine Master Crafted Edition. Jeez, why is that name so long? Announced for PC, Xbox, day one, Xbox Game Pass. What's weird about this one is there is no news of it coming to PlayStation right now. I personally find that weird, seeing that this is more exclusive than Gears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just weird to me because it's such a similar game, but not. You know what I mean? It's like it's similar in the weight and the kind of style, but it doesn't have like that. But Gears is more of a cover. It's a cover shooter. Space Marine, there's no cover. But yeah, what were you gonna say, Mental? It sounds like you got something on the tip of your tongue.
Well, I'll be surprised if it doesn't make its way to PlayStation, I guess is what I was gonna say. Like, I mean, it sounds exclusive, sort of, to Xbox, but I'll like I say, I'll be surprised if this does not make it onto PlayStation. That would blow my mind. Maybe
I'd be surprised if it didn't as well. I feel like it's kind of just launching over on Xbox, because it really seems like, once again, very much like Atlas and Sega, Xbox is also very buddy with the 40K teams, and you've seen their games launch day one into Game Pass before. Like, their brand new games have done that. Space Marine didn't, but what Space Marine did is it was one of the first games to be available to play on cloud if you purchased it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they must have a really good friendship between, Xbox and the Warhammer team and stuff like that, because they seem to always have some sort of quick correlation once they get to putting something together. But anyways, what were you gonna say?
No, that was the main thing. I've got the original Space Marine. Well, it's not the original; it's the Anniversary Edition. On
I have
Steam.
the original one.
Yeah, and I've played it. It actually plays quite well on my Steam Deck, since we were just talking about that. That's
You
where
have
I've
it
been
on
playing
Steam?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have the disc for 360.
Okay. Yeah, no, I have it on Steam. I don't think I ever finished the game, though, to be honest, which is kind of funny now that I think about it. But I was messing around with it on my Steam Deck for a while, and I played, several hours just on the Steam Deck, and it's one of those games that plays really, really well. Not sure that I would rebuy it, to be honest. I don't think I would. But it depends maybe on the price, and see how much of an improvement it really is. And then maybe I would consider a repurchase down the road at some point.
I'm not even in front. I'm just going to play it in Game Pass. I already own the game on 360. If I'm dying to play it, like if I absolutely need to play it, I can.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to purchase it again. I'm just gonna play it on the subscription service. That's what it's there for, and that's what I pay for it for. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna do.
yeah, and of course, as you guys know, I don't have Game Pass anymore, so it's the longest period in my life I've gone without Xbox Live since it came out. So it's been since January. I haven't had it. But.
How about yourself, Matt? What's your thoughts on this? But before you answer, I just want to throw this out there. Some of the new things that it has in the game is enhanced for the new generation, obviously. 4K resolution, modernized controls. The other one was a little weird with some of the buttons, for sure, so that makes sense. Interface overhaul, improved character models, so they look better, and remastered audio, which the audio in the game was pretty good the first time around. It's pretty cool to hear that they remastered it. It's going to be even cleaner. So your thoughts on that one, Matt?
It's cool. I've never played the first one, so that's how I'll play it. It's cool that it's coming to Game Pass, and if I like it, which I assume I will, because Space Marine 2 was awesome, then I'll probably buy it on sale or something on Steam. But I'll be playing that in Game Pass. As for it being exclusive, I saw somebody in chat. Oh yeah, Stanley Francois. We were talking about that. It's weird that it's not on PlayStation. Stanley Francois says it's not weird. Him. The FCC court shit is over. Now Xbox can do what they want. I listen. I don't know if I get what he's saying.
That's actually part of the next topic, which is funny.
Yeah,
that's part of the exiting.
Yeah, okay.
Conversation. That's funny.
So then I'll save it. But like, it's a little strange that's not on PlayStation. I'll put it this way. I was surprised when I saw it was on, because I saw it first from Hazard Gaming, and or maybe Clover, I can't remember. And it said like it's coming to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass, and I was like, oh, no PlayStation. But then I was like, oh, it's Clover. He's not going to mention PlayStation probably. And so I looked it up myself and was like, yeah, it's not on PlayStation. That's strange. But I would imagine just a timed exclusivity thing. And who knows how long. Like, wasn't Stalker 2 supposed to be like 3 months? Like, was like the report, like timed exclusivity for 3 months?
Yeah, it was supposed to be, and then it just kind of I think the thing that happened is it just needed a lot of repair and stuff like that.
I think it needs repair.
And Xbox, like, whether you feel that it's fortunate or not, Xbox is kind of willing to be a beta for a lot of these game companies and whatnot. Oh yeah, go on ahead and drop it on ours, and we'll just we'll figure it out as we go later. And sometimes that means that you get to play it first and beat it and whatnot, but like it's not always the best version of the game. So
not necessarily, yeah.
It's kind of a catch-22.
I think both figuratively and literally, like beta testing. Because like there's some games that come out on Xbox that aren't on PlayStation where it's like, oh, it's Stalker 2 at launch. You look at that, it's like, cool game, really cool concept. It's a bit rough. But then also you think of the fact that like on PlayStation, I don't believe there's an early access thing on PlayStation. They just don't allow it. Whereas Xbox is like, fucking sure. We'll have a game preview for it. Like 33 Immortals was I think it still is, in game preview. Like stuff like that, it's cool to see. But like this in particular, I think it'll be there. I saw somebody else, Fuzzy Tomato. It could just be a marketing deal. It's probably just a marketing deal, really, because it's coming to Game Pass. It could have been a part of the whole Game Pass thing. They gave them a certain amount of money and said, hey, focus on the Xbox versions, put it in Game Pass, focus on PC. We'll give you this amount of money, and then you can bring it to PlayStation some later date.
Yeah, there's some interesting points being here. Ozzy says, Stalker has always released buggy just in general.
Yeah.
And then he says sort of like Bethesda games.
Yeah.
And then Ray Cheese says Ghostwire Tokyo released a year later and worse, which is a fact. It released
that
a year
was
later on Xbox, and it was worse than the PlayStation version, I think.
That was unfortunate. I don't know what happened with that because that wasn't good when it released.
That didn't make any damn sense.
That was not a good look.
No, not a good look at all. Did they ever fix it on Xbox?
They did eventually, but it was one of those things like people like it's the first impression thing. It's the first impression thing, and it was not a good first impression for a lot
Especially
of
a
people.
year after, it's like, dude, there's no fucking excuse.
Exactly.
Especially seeing that at the time they owned that company, which is Tango, and they are now gone. Or they're not gone, but they're with the same people that make
PUBG, right? Crafton.
Yeah. PUBG. Crafton, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But
no, that was bad.
Yeah, bro. That whole situation from top to bottom since they got them to when they released them was bad. And Hi-Fi Rush was like kind of a fake smile situation. Right?
Yeah.
But anyways, so lastly, I wanted to talk a little bit about on the way out of here, just your guys' thoughts on two things. The first thing, which we'll go through and talk about first, the FTC wasting all that time and money. And then the second thing is a totally different thing. It's the PlayStation Showcase that is rumored. And do you think it's going to happen? So let's talk about the first thing, which is the FTC and the time and taxpayer money wasted that they used to go after Xbox when it was approved damn near everywhere else other than the CMA, which they got in their own heap of trouble for simply wasting time and taxpayer money over with England. Well, the FTC is like, hey, we like wasting money too. They hopped on in and said, hey, let's fucking use up all these people's money, that vacation stuff that they like, that overtime that they work hard to get. Let's dig into that pocketbook and see if we can get the American company to bend the knee to America. Made no sense. But anyways, I'm gonna go to you, Mental, because you seem to have the biggest reaction of it when I brought it up just a moment ago. What was your thought process as a Canadian looking over and seeing America fighting themselves for something that they could take advantage of?
Well, kind of exactly what you just said. Like, they had no case, right? And anyone, I think, that had half a brain at the time could see they weren't going to win. That's the reality. And I think everyone knew it was a waste of time. And any legal analysis that I read said the FTC is going to get rolled. But yet they seem to be okay with that and spending money that they didn't have to work to get. So I don't know. I just thought it was a joke. And the old scenario of hold my beer.
I love that. Ray Cheese says US is super weird, but Canada Prime Minister is also a clown. and Ray Cheese lives in Canada, so he's speaking 100%. On what he thinks, and I'm sure Mental doesn't feel too different about that either. He said thumbs up. Fucking stupid. Joe, dude, I was watching some Canadian creator the other day talk to me, or not talk to me, but just talk on YouTube about housing costs out there. And fuck, it's bad. I didn't realize how bad Canada was with housing prices. That is absolutely insane. They got shacks over there. Freaking shacks. For like millions of dollars more than you would spend in LA. For a shack. Mental, is that true?
Sorry, one sec. I got my son talking to me in my ear. What was the question?
Do they really have shacks in Canada that are damn near as expensive or more expensive than LA homes?
Yeah, more or less.
And that's like
crazy.
And it's like not even a nice house. It's beat up, nasty, and maybe like needing to be completely redone.
Renovations. Yeah. And it can be $1 million. Like I used to live in BC before I moved to Alberta, and the average price of a house, was over $1 million in BC.
In all of BC.
Yeah, and that's a huge province, like way bigger than
Texas,
what
I'm saying. Right? That's huge.
Yeah. And so you're
that's
talking
like the entire middle of the United States.
Yeah. So if you go to the far north, you'll find homes that are reasonably priced. But
nobody wants to live there.
Exactly. The prices in the lower mainland.
I need to fix it.
Go. Sorry, my son has no boundaries or sense of boundaries, apparently.
No, I get it. I had my daughter in here. I had to mute myself earlier.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's insane if you really look at it. I mean, Vancouver, I think, is the most expensive place in Canada now, and it's crazy. It's crazy what you have to pay for a house in Canada.
That's too bad. Because I would have obviously it's more expensive than the United States dollar wise, but I didn't know that the whole housing infrastructure and grocery infrastructure was just as bad as so obviously we think we have it bad here sometimes with gas prices and groceries and house and like the cost of living of buying a place, but most of us are yo, we'll say where we're at because California is way too expensive, but y'all are more expensive than California.
Yeah, it's not good. Our inflation rate outpaced yours by 36%. So think of all the stuff you've seen go up in price and add 36% on average, and you have how much it went up here. And it's only going to get worse. Our current governments, they're planning massive deficits again. And you know what drives inflation? Huge deficits, right? Nothing will devalue your dollar better than that. So, and for some reason we elected the same people again. I'm at a loss. I don't know what to say, but without getting too political, it's just kind of mind-blowing to me. So we'll see what happens. But it's brutally expensive here, and even where I live in Alberta, one of the more affordable provinces, you're hard-pressed to find a decent house for, under $500,000. So,
all right, Matt, because I gotta get going. I'm dragging my feet right now. I need to be getting on this highway, but but yeah, that's sad to hear about Canada. That's just poor is a whole nother world out there compared to here. I used to think this was rough, but after I watched that video of Canada, I was like, goodness gracious, no wonder people want to get the hell out of there. Oh, man. But anyways, so Matt, thought process on the FTC versus Microsoft. Obviously, it was a big waste of time, big waste of money and everything like that. What are your final thoughts as we probably this is the last time we'll be talking about this?
I mean, it's good that it's over. It's dumb that it went as long as it did. I don't know what else you can say about it.
I don't think there's anything else to say. I think that's good enough.
Exactly. It wasn't necessary.
It was a waste of time, clearly. But let's end on a positive note now. PlayStation has been, or the rumors have been swirling about a new PlayStation showcase, right? And they are talking about it possibly being sometime in June, which kind of tracks because it's every time Xbox seems to have their big showcase or something noteworthy, PlayStation's like, hey, don't forget about us. We have something too.
Look at us.
Yeah. Which, is a good marketing strategy for them, seeing that they're as, doing as well as they are, at least with hardware. Right. So they can keep people interested, especially since Xbox is now delivering games to PlayStation. It's just like another marketing moment for them, and then they can pretty much have like a first party state of play or showcase if they want to. But they haven't really been doing that as well as I thought they would as of lately. The cue the head scratching Borderlands state of play. I didn't understand why they needed to do that, but then they dropped Ghost of Tsushima just like shadowed an advertisement about it just randomly.
Yeah,
like it was like I didn't understand that, but it is what it is. But they have a showcase that they've been talking about as of recently, a little state of play. I'm not sure if it's going to be an actual showcase or a state of play, but Jeff Grubb is the one that broke this story. I'm not going to use that person. I'll just actually use Jeff Grubb himself. But he stated right here, he said PlayStation event in June. That's the entirety of what I can confirm. No specific date. Not sure if it's a state of play or a big boy showcase, but I lean towards state of play. That's it. Anything else that people add is their own speculation. So let's just quickly speculate, because like I said, I got to get going. What are some games that you expect to see there? The first comment you can see right here says Death Stranding. That's it. I mean, but this person is a well-known Xbox fan, so they're pretty much saying that's all you're gonna get is just Death Stranding. Deal with it. But if you were to assume what other games could be there, what would you say? I want to go to you first, Matt. What other games would you like to see if PlayStation actually had a showcase instead of a small state of play for one game?
What games I like to see, or what games will be there? Because what games
would you like to see? Obviously, because we don't know what games would be there.
Because, I would assume Ghost of Yotei. It'd probably be Death Stranding, Ghost of Yotei. Be the big ones. But what I would like to see, which we're not going to see because it's too early, is more about Intergalactic. I would like to see whatever the hell Sony Santa Monica. Yeah, because they've been working on something. Barlog's been doing something for like 5-6 years at this point.
Yeah, he went dark.
So I'm trying to see what that is. Let's see.
Matt wants to see some fair games.
No, I don't care about that.
I wouldn't mind seeing that as long as I see better stuff.
Sure. I'm interested in that game in the sense that I'll play it when it comes. Well, then again, they'll probably charge $40 for it. But
I want to see real gameplay of that game and make the decision for myself. Like, I probably don't want to spend $40, but my bad. Continue.
That's kind of where I'm at. I want to see Resistance. Again, this is what I want to see.
Jesus Christ, you're reaching now.
I'm telling you, this is what I want to see, not what we're gonna see.
Oh man, this man reaching.
I want to see SOCOM.
Oh my god! All right, next. All right, mental. this man he's completely lost control. Tripping. He doesn't know.
I was
going to
say
that anymore.
I was going to say a Killzone reboot.
Please,
was something I'd like to see.
Oh my god! But you guys stink.
There's a difference between what I'd like to see and what I expect to see. I think Ghost of Yotei and Death Stranding 2 will be there. I agree that it's unlikely to see anything with Intergalactic, but I would expect probably Marathon might make an appearance. Maybe.
I don't know why they'd want to ruin the show.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, they kept throwing Concord out there, and you know how that went, but I don't know. I don't have high hopes for it, I guess.
I don't have high hopes for it, but also the fact
Ron Slusher, you're a freaking menace.
I think Marathon needs to just be quiet. I think Bungie and PlayStation just need to be quiet about Marathon for a couple of months. Just lay low.
Maybe forever.
Yeah, maybe forever. I'd say give it
Cut their losses.
I'd say give it a year. Give it a full year and rework so much about that game, including the art style that you stole.
The art style's horrible.
But like,
I don't know.
you can't come to a showcase in June, like less than a month after this whole debacle, and be like, "Hey guys, we're back." No,
check us out. We got some more stolen artwork.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ!
We stole art from a different artist this time.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Oh, it's brutal. I don't know. How far
this time we blocked them before we stole it.
Stole their art.
We hurry up and re-time stamped it and then DMCA'd him real quick.
They're just gonna, what would be so hilarious is if Bungie just like took their whole official Instagram and just changed it to the name of a popular artist that they like and just stole all their art and said, "We're the real one. We're the real one. We got so many followers. We're the real artists."
Yeah, there you go, Ron Slesser. Ron Slesser is like, you should just change your game name to Art Simulator.
Right.
That's funny.
Thief.
Yeah, Thief too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Art Thief. Yeah.
I love that other one where they're like, you weren't here last week, Mental, so you didn't hear it. But this person on Twitter was like, you know how they do like the like less than or greater than signs, right?
Oh,
so
yeah,
they're like art raiders. Or Arc Raiders is greater than Art Raiders. And I was just like, damn, that's tough.
Yeah.
Dude, Arc Raiders crushing it before this. So
yeah.
Fucking Art Raiders.
Though,
all right. Well,
ask
anyways,
yourself though, what's happened to Bungie? I don't know.
Oh, no, they fell apart. They fell apart. I feel like we need to have a podcast at some point just talking about Bungie and how great they were and what they ended up being.
Reminisce a bit and go down that rabbit hole of the demise.
Yeah, well, we all, I feel like they could, like, if Sony doesn't like do something, they could be coming to an end relatively soon. Yeah, and we might
don't disagree.
I might have to ship Matt 40 of some OE, some old English, and we're all gonna have to pour out something for Bungie. This is tragic what's going on over there. But anyways, you guys sign yourselves out. Let's go on ahead and get the heck up out of here because I have to hit the road. Alrighty. So Mental, please let everybody know where they can find you, brother.
I am at Mental9 on X, PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam, and just about anywhere else you can play games. And you can find me at Caffeine Entertainment on YouTube, and of course here whenever I can make it on Fridays with these fine gentlemen and the missing lady and the other sort of gentleman that's not here. But I try and get here whenever I can, that's for sure.
All right, Matt, go on ahead and let everybody know where they can find you, brother.
You can find me on YouTube, Alex Games, videos every week over there, podcasts, Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern is the L3R3 podcast with myself, Hard Days Mike, and it's me, Twan. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern is a two-player podcast with myself and Ham Solo, and then Fridays I'm here for this show, 4 p.m. Eastern, with all these folks.
Ray Cheese said PlayStation has their own GTA, Grand Theft Art. But anyways, it was a pleasure being with you guys here on the panel. I'm happy that you got to make it to the episode, especially seeing that we don't have Cozy or Loke this week. So I'm happy that you got to make it here this week. Mental, thank you for sliding through. Of course, spitting your game, talking your shit. I had a good time with it. You brought up some fantastic points. Same with you, Matt, as usual. Every Friday you're here doing the damn thing. Appreciate you being here doing your thing. And
to help you stay awake.
Oh yeah, geez Louise. If I had to do this by myself, it would have been rough. But anyways, thanks everybody for showing up, making sure the stream was a good time. You guys lit up the comment section. I swear the comment section gets lit up more and more and more as time goes on. You guys are crushing it out there with keeping engaged with us and whatnot. Remember to share this out, hit the like button, and subscribe if you're new. If you're not, just keep coming through, talking to shit, having a good time. We're going to keep acknowledging you guys as much as you guys come through. So anyways, this is your boy Ham Solo signing out. Loke should be back by this coming Monday, hopefully. If not, then Monday will be open. We won't have any show because I got a lot of stuff that I got to do this upcoming week. And it is Memorial Day weekend as well. So, but anyways, as I said, your boy Ham Solo signing out from TSWS Gaming, letting you know as usual to keep it gaming or keep it moving. We'll see y'all next week. Deuces.
See it.
They said we said